And I have an Echo Boy here that's not even turned on because apparently I just love burning up my CPU by adding plugins that I don't even need. Hey guys, and welcome back to Astro Music and Tutorials. I'm pretty sure by now, everyone who uses social media has heard of a guitarist named Pasin. I hope that's how you say his name. But anyway, he is an insanely talented guitarist with a very unique sound. Every now and then he uploads a video of himself playing a sample that he created obviously, and asks producers or other artists to flip it. It's been a long time since I flipped a sample, and every time I see Pasin posting one of those samples, I've always tell myself, I have to do this, it sounds so good, it needs to be flipped, and I always save the post, but I never got around to doing it until 2 weeks ago. I finally found a sample that I really liked, and I immediately realized I had to flip it. And flip it is exactly what I did. So today I'm gonna be breaking down how I flipped that particular sample by Pasin. This is the sample that he played. Now, I already uploaded my version of this flip on both our Instagram account and our YouTube account. Please go check it out if you haven't. At the end of the video, I'll just show you the whole song, so stick to the end. But for now, this is what the flip sample sounds like. Kinda sounds like a different song, doesn't it? I don't even think Pasin would recognize which of his sample that I used. Nah, I'm kidding, I'm sure he would. Let me just break down how exactly I made that sample. First of all, if you listen carefully to the sample, you can hear it's made up of low notes and high notes. Those are the low notes. Those are the high notes. So the first thing that I did was I duplicated the sample, and I separated the sample according to the low notes and the high notes. So one sample contained only the cut up high notes, and the second one contained only the cut up low notes. Doing this made it much easier, so I suggest you find a way to divide up your samples like that, or find something unique that you can grab onto. It'll make flipping it so much easier. So yeah, together. There you have it. This is the full beat. This is the entire thing that I did. I kept it simple-ish, and it actually turned out to be a really cool sounding HYPERPOP Lo-Fi remix. That's like the best way I could define it. Now with these two samples that I talked about earlier, go to each one of them. What you're gonna want to do is select the entire highs and then hit Ctrl-Alt-C, which is going to consolidate that into one sample, so it won't be all chopped up like this, it'll just be one. And do the same thing with your lows. Consolidate that into one sample, but make sure you do that only after you finalize the entire sample, because once you do it, you won't be able to redo it. Moving back to the full song, the two samples you see over here, this is the highs and this is the lows that I consolidated. So you've already heard that, so let's move on to the first element that I added after doing this, which is the piano. Can't make a good lo-fi song without an ambient piano. So I just whipped out my trusty Imagiro Piano 2, and this is what I came up with. I love that piano progression. So I'm just gonna cut the high sample out for now. The piano that I made, the progression, it follows the rhythm of the low sample. Now here's what it sounds like. It's basically accenting off of that low sample. So together they sound really good. And then the highs are basically fills between the spaces of the low sample and the piano. You can see the way I've positioned it like this. Now on top of this piano, just to give the melody a little bit more structure, I took the top notes of the piano. I loaded up another piano that has a bit of a higher frequency. I copied the top melody of the other piano and put it in this, and here's what this sounds like. The same melody, just a higher octave of notes. After that, obviously the bass. I'm not going to show you much about this because you know what I usually do. I copy the lower notes of the piano and I just copy paste it in the bass. But I took that sub bass and I added this free distortion plugin called Camel Fat 3. I just added a preset called Just Subs, which targets those sub frequencies. Really beefed it up. And then what do we have after that? Some drums. Some chunky sounding drums. Always keep your beats interesting. Make sure to add variations every now and then so that your beat doesn't sound boring. It's a very, very important tip. And then after the drums, there's this pad. I EQ'd out the lows and the highs because I just wanted that much. It had to be subtle. And I have an Echo Boy here that's not even turned on because apparently I just love burning up my CPU by adding plugins that I don't even need. Oh, I don't think I told you the effects that I used on the piano. It's a very soothing piano. But I didn't want soothing for this song because it was supposed to be HYPERPOP LOFI. I added my OTT, which I usually do, but then I added a little bit more depth than I usually do. I usually keep my depth like 15, 20-ish. This time I decided to go 30, and that's why it sounds as hard as it is. And to make it a little bit more crispier, I added this EQ and I boosted up the high mids. That's why it sounds like. The last thing I've added was the strings. They're just very simple staccato strings. This is what the strings sound like. This is the plugin that I used, BBC Symphony Orchestra, another free plugin. This is the free version of the full plugin, and it's more than enough for me. I'm not a composer, I'm not Hans Zimmer. But yeah, it is the violins to spiccato. I have a Fruity Delay 3 on it with the Fruity Reverb on it and a Fruity Parametric EQ just to take out those lows. And they come in during the second half of the song. I thought they added a little bit of variation. Also during this section right here, I made a little bit of a break to give a little bit more variation. So yeah guys, that is the full sample flip. It was so fun to make and I couldn't wait to show you guys how I made it. And like I promised in the beginning, here's the full song. So thank you so much for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope I helped you out and gave you some tips when it came to sample flipping. Try to flip anything you can. It just pushes your creativity and your production skills to a whole new level. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us a lot. And go and give our Instagram a follow. Yeah, see you next week.